Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I have some very interesting news to share. Something's going down on Twitter. So, Marjorie Taylor-Greene looks like she's maybe turning on Trump. Before I jump into all these details and share her quotes with you, please hit the subscribe button below this video. It is free. It's a very easy way for you to help the show and help with the YouTube algorithm, get more eyeballs on this content. So, here's the deal. Here's what's happening. So today, Marjorie Taylor-Greene, Ms. MAGA herself, went on a complete and total tirade against Donald Trump. I'm not going to read the full screed to you because it was just way too long. In fact, that's what a lot of people said in the comment section. They're like, I'm not reading all of this. But anyway, I'm going to read you just a few of the key points. So at first she said, quote, I represent the base. And when I'm frustrated and upset over the direction of things, you better be clear. The base is not happy. Now, before I finish this, let me just say up front and warn you, this is not her growing a conscience. This is not her all of a sudden realizing that she has horrific, cruel, evil policies and ideas and is a raging racist. It's quite the opposite. Okay. She wants more horrific ideas. She wants more cruel policies. Okay. So I'm going to go on. She said, quote, I campaigned for no more foreign wars. And now we are supposedly on the verge of going to war with Iran. I don't think we should be bombing foreign countries on behalf of other foreign countries, especially when they have their own nuclear weapons and massive military strength. Now, on that, I do agree with her. She doesn't come right out and call out Israel. She refuses to say their name, but it's clearly what she's talking about. I do agree with that. Broken clock is right twice a day, as they say. So, she's got one good point there. The rest of it is crap. Then she went on to say, quote, and on top of that, now we are told that we have signed a deal for mineral rights in Ukraine in order to pay us back for the hundreds of billions of dollars that we gave Ukraine and they used for money laundering, sold the weapons we gave them to our enemies, and their leader is a dictator who canceled elections. Oh, so much to say there, right? I mean, first of all, it's not hundreds of millions of dollars that we've given to Ukraine. And secondly, really, you want to talk about dictators? You want to go off on a dictator canceling elections when you have your guy in there talking about a third term and never leaving office and who instigated a coup and an insurrection against your country? Okay. Anyway, she goes on to say, quote, that Ukraine, who she's referring to, was involved, was involved of the first impeachment of Trump and campaigned for Biden. Okay. No, but okay. So she goes on, she continues to babble. She talks about the quote unquote evil transgender assault against children, how Republicans should be voting to rescind funding. And she takes issue with the so-called, quote, rogue judicial system, election integrity. She put in all the right-wing buzzwords, all the culture war nonsense and BS. And then she ended her post with, quote, when you are losing MTG, you are losing the base. And Trump isn't on the ballot in the future. So do the math on that. So this woman has such an ego that, first of all, she's referring to herself in the third person, just like Trump does, right? Oh, you're losing MTG. Not when you're losing me. No, she thinks so highly of herself that she refers to herself as MTG. And then she thinks she's the base. She speaks for the whole base. Well, guess what? The comments weren't all that friendly. There were a few, there were some that sided with her and said, "Oh, I completely agree. Go girl. You got it so right. Blah 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 100%." But there were a lot of MAGA voters that shut her down and said, "No, actually, yeah, not true. This is not what we want across the board, and you don't speak for us." Actually, let me see if I can grab a screenshot. um, there was one in particular that I saved to share with you guys, and I forgot to write it down to read it to you, but it says, "Be very careful, dear. Understand that you don't represent the base," in quotes, "when you rant like this. You were elected because of your unwavering support for Trump. Nothing more and nothing less. Sit the fuck down with these diatribes and let the man cook. We have zero loyalty to you. Wakey, wakey." So, yeah, not exactly the reception she was hoping for. Like I said, the majority were positive, and they were all on board. But or I wouldn't even say the majority. I shouldn't even say that. It was definitely, I would say it was a mix. I think it was maybe 25% in support, and then the other 75 were either liberals and left leaners just slamming her and making fun of her, or MAGA supporters, clearly Trump supporters, who were like, "No, yeah, no, you don't speak for me. I'm not in agreement, and you need to shut up and just get behind the master." So, anyway, we'll see where it goes from here. I'm sure Donald Trump is not going to be too pleased being called out on Twitter by one of his own. He does not like that. Even though he is the most disloyal person on the planet, he does not like when people are disloyal to him. So, yeah, I think her days are probably numbered. And what's funny is there were a lot of comments too saying, "Oh, please run for senator," because she's been toying with that, either running for governor of Georgia or running as a senator for Georgia. And people are clearly thinking that she would completely and totally bomb. And especially based on some new polling that I'm going to share with you guys next week, that's probably true. Like overall, the state does not like her. She's good for her area. Like they love her in that district because they're all complete red pilled, Kool-Aid drinking cult members for the most part. But outside of that area, she would fail miserably. And so people are like, "Yeah, please do it." Anyway, thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like this video, share it with others, become a subscriber, become a donor if you possibly can, or leave a one-time tip or super thanks. Thank you all again. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.